guys, it's M4J here, and welcome back to M4J Logistics here on Euro Truck Simulator 2. Let me just shut my door. Something I should always do before I start recording, but there you go. So yeah, welcome back to Euro Truck Simulator 2. There's my truck in the background right there. Today, I think, is the day we finally go continental. So I'll show you where we are on the world map. Excuse the slow cursor, I'm using my controller. So we're currently in Sheffield, which is right here. So the plan is to try and find a job that takes us into, that's not the right button at all, mainland Europe. Now how do you move the map? Let me just use the mouse for this. So the nearest connection to Europe is up here, just north of Grimsby. That will take us into Rotterdam. So if we could find a job from Sheffield to, say, Rotterdam or Amsterdam, maybe Brussels at a push, that would be ideal. So let's have a look at the freight market. We're in Sheffield, and there isn't anything to the continent. That's slightly annoying, but what we could do instead is go to Grimsby and then see if there's a job at Grimsby, or Felixstowe actually would be a good one, because Felixstowe is there, and then we can go across to Rotterdam that way. So I think we might take this job. 4 hours 22. So it looks like next episode will be the trip to Europe. That's basically what this game is now. You kind of hopscotch between different places until you get to where you want to be. So this is where we parked last time out. The trailer is not there. It's kind of annoying that that's not the case actually, because I mean, in terms of real life, this is a couple of days after I recorded last episode, but in terms of game time, it's like a few minutes. So it'd be cool if they added a feature where it was still there, but I mean, I'm really nitpicking there, aren't I? I'm also speeding. It's amazing how fast these trucks accelerate when they don't have something attached to the back. Right, I'm just going to go for it. Excuse me, sir. So yeah, we're doing little hopscotches now, trying to get as close to Europe as we can. I will check the job markets very quickly at the end of this journey, because if there is one that takes us into Europe, I might record 2 episodes back to back, just so that we can actually get that done. This is quite a long trip we're about to go on as well, so I'm not entirely, like 4 hours is, even though it's not 4 hours real time, it's still a long time. So freight market, we want to go to Felixstowe. How much do we get paid for that? 5,800. Yeah, £25 a mile. Alright, we'll do it. We'll do it. So of course it's not the nearest trailer, it's the next one over. In fact, it's not even that one, it's the one after that. So I think I've missed it by a little bit. I'm reversing in completely the wrong direction. It wasn't that long ago that I gave the advice of, you know, when you're reversing a lorry, you want to turn in the opposite direction to where you want to go. And I really made it sound like I knew what I was talking about, but apparently I don't. There we go. Okay, so now we want to steer hard right. And away we go. The journey begins. Are you kidding me? I'm tired. Okay. So I need to find a rest stop. Yeah, that yawn, that wasn't me in real life. That's the game telling me that I need to find somewhere to rest. So there's a service station just outside Sheffield. I think we're going to pull over there for the night. Gotta remember to do that though. So we'll sleep there and then we'll head down to Felixstowe. Alright, on the road. There's my phone, because guess who forgot to put their phone on silent again. Okay. So this is what the game is now. It's all about managing your truck and managing yourself. That's kind of what drew me to the game. The first bit of the game, the tutorial, learning how to drive the truck, your first garage, doing all the little odd jobs, it's fine, but it's not fun. Whereas this, again, there's the yawn, the whole management aspect of the game, that's what appeals to me. Everyone who watches my channel knows that I'm that kind of gamer. I like to manage things. I like to build companies and networks and things like that. So this is what it's all about. Maintaining your truck as well. I don't really say this that often, but I'm a big fan of games where you do like you own a truck, or you own a car, or you own a company, and you fix things rather than just building them from scratch. There's a lot of appeal to me there as well. I like being able to sort of renovate things and refurbish things and recycle things. That's kind of what I like most about... Whoopsie doodle. Well, that's game over for that journey. 1 second. We'll get a recovery. I feel like this journey's not going well already, and we've not even started yet. Yeah, I went around that corner way too fast. What was I saying? Let's just pretend that didn't happen. Oh, I still got my trailer. Yes. Yeah, I'm getting tired. I need a place to rest, I know. I also need to know if I'm turning left or right here. Left. So basically back where we started. So yeah, I like the idea of having this one truck and looking after it. And the irony of me saying that just after I've turned it on its side. But hopefully you know what I mean. You know, just that thought of, this is my truck. I have to get it serviced. I have to refuel it. And then also me as a driver, I have to sleep when I'm tired. You know, I can't drive for long periods of time. It's that aspect of it. It's the realism behind it as well. This is exactly the life of a truck driver. Although a truck driver wouldn't flip their truck like I just did. That's a bit dumb. Okay, so this is the same road we were on, isn't it? Looks like it is. Oh, come on! I'm trying to get to the rest stop. I suppose I could have gone to the one in the city now, but... I think you get fined now for like every hour that you don't sleep. Something like that. Yes, I know. See, now I'm pushing myself to get to this rest stop, and I'm probably going to crash again. As long as my eyes don't start closing, I think we'll be okay. There's another fine. Okay, so I'm going to speed through this bit, and then when we get to here, I'm going to slow down, ease off the throttle, and hit the brake. There we go. Okay, now I've got to actually find the rest stop. So I know where it is in terms of the road, but I need to find where the actual sleep spot is, because I've not done that before. So we're going to turn off here. I think it's straight ahead. I think it's like here. Yeah. Okay. Rest. So we're going to be incredibly late for our delivery now. But that's fine. Also need to turn my lights on, because it's pitch black. We'll stick cruise control on. There we go. Keep it on 30 while we go off onto the M18. So we're still 4 hours away from our destination, and we're almost 10 minutes into the video. So this is fun. This is almost exactly what I had planned for this episode. I mean, it wouldn't be enjoyable if you just did generic deliveries with no problems involved. You gotta have a little bit of fun. And you know, last episode I was talking about Ben constantly crashing his truck. I think we're even now, in all honesty. I think we're even now. Oh, it's so annoying that I did that as well. I'm normally a real pedant when it comes to speed limits and things like that. So for me to actually go and flip my truck like that, it's not good, is it? It's not good. And I'm sure I'll be made fun of mercilessly because of it. Okay, 3 hours 46 away. We've got another sharp bend coming up now. So I am going to start slowing down in just a second. Okay, start braking now. So we've got 1,400 miles worth of fuel. Don't need to worry about that just yet, although it's surprising how quickly that comes down as well. We've got 175 miles in this journey, so that gives you an idea as to how much fuel we're potentially going to use. Okay, and away we go. So we're now on the A1. Let's move over. This truck, actually, the colour scheme, it reminds me a lot of my mobile operations centre on Grand Theft Auto Online. Like the blue cab and then the red and black trailer. That's very much like what I drive in the game. I would like to get my own trailer. Get a black with red lined trailer. That'll look awesome. Then you have the full ensemble. Alrighty. 3 hours 25 to go. Got the cruise control on. Got the headlights on. Got my A game on now. I'm concentrating. I've had my little wake up call. I'm not tired. You know, I had a good rest. Things are good. Although I think the truck did pick up some damage from the accident, so we might have to go get that fixed. Let's execute this overtaking maneuver. Hello, fellow truckers. Hello, other fellow trucker. Oh, you've got livestock. Very nice. Wonder where they're off to. Which steakhouse they're getting taken to, eh? Alright, come on, truck. Keep going. Nice and fast now. Let's get past these trucks here as well. You don't want to crash into that one. I'm pretty sure that's flammable. Probably oil, maybe petroleum. Come on, we got the inside line. Let's take him. Come on, truck. Don't need to turn off here. Good stuff. Felixstowe on the sign. Good to see. So yeah, once again, I'll do a little shout out here. If anyone has any conversation topics that they want me to talk about whilst I'm driving, kind of anything to fill the time really, feel free to comment down below. We'll avoid the usual taboo subjects, but anything else is absolutely fine. It gives me something to do whilst I'm driving, it gives you something to listen to whilst you're watching me drive. We can almost treat it like a little podcast type thing if you like. So yeah, I'm trying to think of things to actually discuss. Like most of the stuff I've already covered. Like the Discord, talked about that last time out. I've mentioned XVI in the past, talked about the future of M4J, little things like that. I suppose I could talk about football, but then this isn't really a football type game, is it? So it's just one of those things. That's why I like you guys to choose, because if you're watching the content, then you're more inclined to watch stuff that you've requested as well. So yeah, feel free to comment down below. That would be awesome. For now though, I think I'm just going to continue to reminisce on the little crash that we had. Oh dear. I could feel it going as well, but once it starts to tip, there's really nothing you can do. Because if you slam the brake on, you can make it a lot worse. It's kind of that thing they always tell you, if you're driving on ice and you feel the back end start to go, the worst thing you can do is try to correct it, because all that causes is a fishtail effect. So what you actually should do is just hold the wheel tight and don't steer at all. Let the car get itself back under control, as it were. So for God's sake, don't take your hands off the wheel. That's also the worst thing you could do. But don't try and correct it, because you'll always end up overcorrecting, and then you'll end up sliding out the other way instead. And I've had a little experience like that myself, not on ice and not in a car, but when I was playing golf once, and I was driving a golf buggy down a quite steep hill on very wet ground, whilst it was raining very, very heavily. And as we were going down, I could feel the back end start to slide out. So I did just that. I kept my hands on the wheel, held it tight, like didn't steer at all, just held the wheels in place. And the buggy itself did a full 180 slide, so we ended up facing backwards going down this hill. But because I let it sort itself out, it didn't become worse. Because if I tried to correct it, if we were driving on flat ground, we would have just spun. But because we were going downhill, there's a very good chance we could have ended up sideways, then the wheels would have dug into the ground and we could have flipped it. And I say we because my brother was in the buggy with me. So I kind of did the sensible thing, let the buggy spin around, ended up riding down the last 20 yards of the hill backwards, but once we'd hit the flat ground I was able to put the brakes on and bring it to a halt. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it was scary, but I kind of felt like I had it under control. And because of that, like, my brother was obviously a little bit more worried than I was because he was just a passenger, but it's just one of those things. Only now, kind of reflecting on it, do I think, oh god, I very nearly crashed a golf buggy. But at the time I was quite, cool about it, and just thought, let it do its thing, get it under control, and then drive on. And I mean, that's the third time I've nearly crashed a buggy in a spectacular way. And the lesson there, a lot of people would get put off by things like that, but for me, what I would do, and what I did do, was I went back not long after that incident and drove down that hill again. It was drier the second time around, but you kind of get it out of your system that way. You go back, you do it again, you do it properly that time, and you don't feel anxious about it anymore. The worst one for me, though, was when I nearly drove a buggy off a cliff in Australia. That one will always sit with me. And again, I've been back since then, and I've driven a buggy down that track, no problem. But at the time, you get scared, and then you think about it afterwards, and you think, just how close was I to death? And I think that one, the answer was pretty damn close. Because it wasn't just a small dip and that's it. It was like 200 foot. It's a hell of a long way down. Why am I going so slow here? I can overtake. So those are my near-death experiences. I think they're the only real ones I've had in my life where it could... Oh no, I had one when I was flying to Australia once, but again, you kind of put your faith in the right areas and you come out of it fine. So it was landing... We used to fly via Singapore when we went to Australia. We fly via Kuala Lumpur now. And there was one time, I was asleep when this happened, so I was told afterwards what happened. But it had been raining heavily there as well, and the rain was quite heavy, and the winds were quite high. And as the plane came in to touch down, crosswind affected the plane, and it made it turn slightly sideways. And then because there was no traction on the runway, as the wheels came down, the whole plane like skidded to the side. And I've been reliably informed it was a harrowing experience, but I slept right through it, so I wouldn't know, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, I'd say. You don't really want to be aware when things like that are happening, I suppose. But yeah, those three experiences. And I'm not telling these stories to scare people, not at all. Because actually, having studied aerospace technology a lot at university, I actually have more faith in aviation now than I did before. And we did a whole module, really, where we looked at plane crashes and what caused them. And, plane crashes are these things where, when they happen, they are devastating and they are awful. But they happen so rarely now, and it's normally, like, really rare factors that are involved. And a lot of them these days is poor maintenance. that causes more plane crashes than anything else, I'd say. There are other incidents, of course, as well. I'm not going to name individual incidents, so I don't think that's particularly respectful. But it's one of those things. I've always been told the safest time to fly is just after a plane crash, because everyone is being extra careful about safety. And it's really unfortunate that we have to have something like that to make us all get on our toes again. But I don't know. It's a really... I probably should change the subject, to be honest. It's not a nice subject to talk about. And as I say, I don't want to disrespect plane crash victims or their families or anything like that. So the worst thing you can do is trivialize something like that. So I'm not even going to try that. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the journey, shall we? Because we're almost there, actually. We're an hour away. 55 miles. We're cruising down the... I think it's the A14 I saw. Last sign I saw. Bombing along quite nicely. 56 miles an hour. So yeah, I think what I will do is I'll finish this episode in Folkestone, and then I'll have a look at the job. Well, we'll have a look at the job market once we get to our destination. Then we'll end the episode, and then I'll take a quick break, and then I think I'll record the next episode straight after this, because I do want to get into Europe, because there's all kinds of things, road regulations and things in Europe that we don't have here in the UK. Plus there's the whole obstacle of driving a right-hand drive vehicle on the right-hand side of the road. I'm actually quite looking forward to that challenge. I'm looking forward to it slightly less now that I've crashed the truck, because I'm crashing it on roads that I should be familiar with. Plus the fact that the speedo that we've got is in miles per hour, and we'll be driving in kilometers per hour in Europe, so I might have to change my settings for that. But I was about to say a really good pun, but we're actually getting the ferry across rather than the bridge. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, was what I was going to say. It's one of these, like, I don't think I could actually drive in real life in Europe. And it's me questioning my own driving skills more than anything. Some people adapt to it really well, some people not so much. And I think I'm one of the not so much. Bloody roadworks. Yeah, this is very realistic. This happens all the time in the UK. We're so nearly at the destination as well. How cool would it be? There might be a mod that does this, actually. I've not checked it out. How cool would it be if you had to do a delivery to a building site on a motorway? Like, you just had to park up at the side of the road, drop the trailer off, and then you can go. That'd be pretty cool. Or little things like animations. So like if you're delivering a forklift truck somewhere, instead of just dropping the trailer off and driving away, if you actually saw the forklift get driven off the trailer, and then you could drive away. That would also be pretty cool. Alright, I'm controlling the speed manually at the moment. I just want to pull out into the fast lane, and then I'll switch cruise control back on. There we go. So if I remember correctly, in real life the A14 goes down to Folkestone as well. So we're pretty much on this road now until we get to our destination. I believe that's the case. Is that lightning I just saw then? I hope not. Even in the game. Like in real life, thunderstorms are spectacular. I like to sit by the window, open window, and watch the thunderstorms. But in games, I don't know. You always get that horror type feeling. Have I been saying Folkestone? I meant Felixstowe. Folkestone's in Kent. We're not driving to Kent. We're in, I think Felixstowe's in Suffolk. Listen to me, trying to be an expert again. I said the wrong place. I do that a lot. Folkestone and Felixstowe are the two, probably the two most mixed up place names in the UK. Because they're both ports as well, so it's not even like one's miles inland and you can remember it that way. They're both ports. They're both major ports. They both have ferries to mainland Europe, as we now know. And they're both really easy to get mixed up. Yeah, so we're going to Felixstowe, not Folkestone. I suppose I should really remember it as Folkestone is rail. Actually, is Folkestone on the coast? It might not be. I think it might be inland from Dover. Because it's where the Channel Tunnel starts in Folkestone. And that's not on the coast. It's like a few miles away from the coast. Whereas Felixstowe obviously is on the coast. You can get a ferry from there. I should do some research rather than just talking garbage about it. Yeah, I thought the speed limit had come down. Whoa! What are you doing, man? You absolute imbecile. No, I don't even care. Find me all you like. That guy's at fault, though. You can't just pull out in front of someone like that. Now me cruise control's not working. There we go. You all saw that, right? He pulled out in front of me. Indicator or not, I was clearly coming past him. I'll have to write that on the insurance form. Absolute clown. This journey feels like it's been jinxed. I think that's a fair assumption to make. Alright, we're almost there. 1 mile away, 4 minutes. What could possibly go wrong now between here and our destination? We're going to get like next to no money for this. We're so late. The trailer is pretty damaged. My truck is also pretty damaged, so we're going to have to go get that repaired. We should probably do that now before we go into Europe, because there might be regulations about vehicle condition. The AI in this game, I can't even criticize it. If anything, I have to applaud them for it, because having driven a lot around the UK, there are people that just pull out randomly in front of you. There are people that just slam the brakes on in front of you. It's actually, I don't know whether they intended it to be like this or not, but it's incredibly realistic. You gotta say kudos for that. Okay, I'm just going to do this one. No extra XP. We're just going to get the delivery done. 15 hours. Oh, we did get paid for it still. That's alright then. We actually got a lot of XP for that too. Okay, so we're going to go back to driving now. I'm going to spin around. So there's the trailer. It remembers it there. Oh, sod off. What did I even hit? Was that a Lamborghini? Just slammed into a Lambo, did I? Oh, boy. Yeah, I'm being careless now. We're going to get the truck repaired. Then we're going to look at job offers around Felixstowe, not Folkestone. And then we're going to call this an episode. Go, 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 go. We almost got slammed into again. Okay. So first of all, we're going to repair. 4 grand. Ouch. Then we're going to look at configuration. See if there's anything we can upgrade. We don't want that, do we? What's the difference? It says big space. Well, it's not like you can fit a bed in there or anything, is it? Oh, should we go for this? Extra axles. It'll cost us 5,000. Oh wait, no. It'll cost us more than that. It'll cost us 28,000. Do you know I'm tempted? So what's it actually going to do? We can pull heavy cargo and we can go on in uneven terrain, but it does hit us on maneuverability. Do you know what? I'm not going to do that for now. I will look at engines though. Oh, we got the maximum engine. Gearbox? Okay. So that will help us with pretty much everything. And this has a retarder which we don't currently have. How much is it going to cost? Do you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then everything else, actually, I think I'm going to leave as is. Okay, so we'll do that. And then we're going to quickly check the job market. That's not the button I wanted to press. So we've got job market, freight market. So we're in Felixstowe. Amsterdam. Perfect. So we're going to do this one. 11 hours. That includes the ferry time. Or there's this one. Oh, that one pays 5,000 actually. So that'll pay for the truck damage, babe. Yeah, that'll pretty much pay for the truck damage. So we're going to do that one next time, if the job's still available. I hope it is. But yeah, until then, guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. And of course, if you're enjoying the series, drop some comments down below with ideas for future episodes, conversation topics, and stuff like that. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you guys for your continued support. And until next time, I will see you soon.